biggest gift God has given us, the most precious one, is nature. If we do not preserve it, if we do not look after it, you see what is happening today all over the world. My generation, we exploited these forests, we exploited this nature and Mother Earth, but who's suffering? The coming generation. Being very close to Ddhun, which is very close to my house, I had been watching the degradation of this forest by Vilaiti Kikar, Prosopis juliflora, about which everybody was saying, and I could see myself harming the native flora. The jungle was in a mess, full of plastics, debris thrown around. The water body is getting choked. So much to be done in such a short time. My father told me long back in 50s, I remember vaguely, that look, we have put a belt between Rajasthan and Delhi to stop the aggression of desert. And today, look what I see, time has passed. Now the same tree which was thought to be very good, which are introduced by Britishers, it's a Mexican tree. And they introduced it, well, somewhere 1910. All over India, it has been planted by a conservative forest from Hyderabad. And today, the same tree has become, what we say now, it's harming the flora, harming the natives. So, I had something to do, and luckily I find my another old colleague, Shri Tejan Khannaji, who were together with me in London, in UK High Commission. And after my retirement, I started working something for the society, especially the Vasant Kunj. I did mention once that there's a degraded forest and I would like to do something. How do we can improve it? And after getting a green signal from him, I caught hold of my old colleague who was with me in university, Professor P.S. Ramakrishnan, the noted international famed ecologist, who had done tremendous work in the field, who introduced me to Rajendra Singh, introduced me to Professor Rao, and we organized a group, what we called as Working with Nature. Born in a forest institute, Ddhun, son of a forest officer, I grew up with nature in the environment, in a place where you could see all the trees. He sent me even for post-graduation for ecology, but having done all that, having room for forestry, well, destiny took me and I joined Indian Air Force. I had a wonderful career of 35 years. After my retirement, I wanted to do something pertaining to my old subject. We analyzed this forest, came up with a scientific paper and gave a presentation. We gave them the holistic development scheme of revival of this forest. We had said we'll take care of three things. Number one, we must conserve the Aravalli native species. Not only conserve them, but we have to spread the forest cover. Because if we cover the forest area, then Prosopis juliflora, the Vilaiti Kikar, it does not occupy that area. What we said, we will curtail its growth by pulling out the young saplings, collecting its seeds, destroying them, and filling the open areas. Our second holistic development aim was to create water bodies, water harvesting, because where can you get such a protected area, especially in ridge area, which is almost has not been exploited for water harvesting. As I said, this place had only one dirty water body. We had to depend for water supply from outside. Third, you cannot achieve anything until and unless take the support of the stakeholders. Now, who are the stakeholders? My generation exploited the forest. Nothing is left for the young children. So society has to be part, and DD has always encouraged us that we take the local support. We bring the local school children not only from Delhi, but from Delhi NCR. Sanjeevana started after the tragedy what I had in life. Suddenly one day I was told that your wife, she is suffering from cancer. And after about a week, doctors told me that she doesn't have much time and things are going to be a little tough. And we might have to put her on sedatives, patches to see that her pain is not there much. And my love always to take me every morning for a morning walk to Ddhun. And one of those days after I brought her home, I relieved at least. I felt a little relieved that instead of me being in hospital, now she's at home. So I literally, that fine morning, I was just thinking in my mind while walking inside the forest that how is going to be her end. And we had not told her, she didn't know that she's suffering from cancer. And that is the day I prayed the Almighty and my nature God. I say, hey one Maharaj, oh God, this nature God, if she has to go, please take her out quietly. Could you believe that was something at about 6:30 or 5:30, around 6 o'clock. And she had her breakfast when I came back. We were together. I just moved into the other room because I had to take her to the hospital next day. I didn't know how she's going to face when she's told that she's suffering from cancer. And suddenly I hear that she's no more. With a smiling face, she left the world. These are some of the pains in life which give you strength. But look at the nature. The nature supported my hand. In nature, there's a term called a succession which keeps on going. The tree which is here today, it creates with its own leaves, etc. The ground soil changes. But with the growing of this water all around this forest, you see, water is the biggest trigger in reviving a lost vegetation. So, the future is this, what I visualize, what I see, which I can gaze in the crystal ball. The forest will be a more leafy forest.